Unseal this door. I demand it.
Well,
Who are you?
Look who it is.
Oh, you're the jerk.
I'll be damned. I was prepping the studio for our announcement, and here you are as a bonus.
I will shoot you in the head.
And the wayward doctor. Are you about done with your escapades? We have faces that need lifting, after all.
These days, I'm more interested in breaking them. Wouldn't mind taking a swing at yours.
I knew I smelled Monarch when you lot walked
Oh,
in.
he has statements for all
stench
the
of sulfur,
all the
depression,
companions.
and desperate bravado is unmistakable.
Keep talking, and you'll be smelling iron. Ain't nobody so important I won't put a bullet in.
When you go off and get yourself shot, try to avoid taking one to the face. I'll want it recognizable to show to my citizens.
What's this announcement?
Haven't you heard? Phineas is working for us now.
I somehow
It
doubt
took some
that.
doing, but employing an efficient management strategy of putting our guns to his head.
Oh yeah,
seems to
so
have
he's
done
not
the trick.
actually willingly working for you. Phineas would rather die than cooperate.
Yes, he is an extraordinarily obstinate fellow, isn't he? Fine, he isn't working for us per se. Semantics, he'll come around. But that's between us. As far as my adoring citizens will know, we've turned a dangerous crackpot into a working-class man. It's a miracle.
The crackpot is saving frozen colonists you gave up on.
Oh yes, go on, wake them up, add more mouths to feed. That'll solve our starvation problems. I don't know what half-baked plans that simpleton in a lab coat has been leading you through, but it's done. It's over. Let me ask you something, Captain. Have you at any point thought about not fucking up our entire society?
No.
That means someone's recognizing our work.
Yeah. We should be
I'm
proud.
making actual progress towards stabilization and recovery. You're just getting in the way.
You prefer to keep riding this downward spiral? I can fix this place.
If I and my people can ride it out in luxury and happiness, yes, I would. I don't know if you've noticed, Captain, but Halcyon's pretty much a lost cause.
With your resources and some of the folks on Hope, we could do a lot.
I'll admit, there's no shortage of talent in the scientists and engineers there. Look, I'm not an unreasonable man. If you manage to storm the castle, as it were, and make it out of here with Phineas alive, I can't exactly afford more havoc than you've already caused. Fine. If you survive, you'll need someone to sell the rest of the board on your plan.
You're damn right you will, otherwise I'm coming for you next. Oh, I see. We didn't fight here. We could have, but we didn't. Alright, let's see. Where are we heading to? Over here. Okay. Oop. So, let's see. These are the people that are from Monarch that are fighting right now. So we have the people from, da 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 da.
All right, MSI. I'm not one for rousing speeches, but the captain needs our help. So, get in there and fight!
Oh no, it's both of the, people from Monarch. Both sides are fighting for us. Thanks, guys. I'm leaving.
This is nice. Calm before the storm and all
Ah,
that.
you know how it
Hope
goes.
you're right about this, Captain.
I mean, either we sell the board on it, like he says, or we don't.
Captain, you have an uncanny talent for complicating my life.
I do that.
You've disrupted the balance of power. You've upset the natural order of things. You've introduced uncertainty, and there is nothing I despise more than uncertainty.
You sure do love talking. Do they pay you by the word?
Typical. Running your mouth in the middle of a crisis. It's almost as if you delight in chaos.
I mean, a little bit.
I should have dealt with you a long time ago. You were always too dangerous to leave unchecked.
Ah, stop. You're making me blush.
I suppose I shouldn't be surprised by your impertinence. Leaving you alive was my greatest mistake. But it is a mistake I intend
Oh,
to
so you're
correct.
really gonna fight me?
I have Dr. Wells in my custody. Once I've secured his cooperation, I can move forward with the program. I can repair the damage you've done. I can set things right.
You don't understand. Phineas is my friend. I'm not leaving without him.
Well, that's mostly correct. You're not leaving here at all. I wish you'd simply cooperated with me. You're the finest marksman in Halcyon. You could have been
I'm a
my
marksman?
gun.
I'm rescuing Phineas, and I'm going through you if I have to.
I had a feeling you'd say that.
Yeah.
This prison is equipped with an automechanical warden. I've had it programmed to eliminate you on sight and rinse your remains down a drain.
Oh, it's so spooky.
And don't worry. I will inform Dr. Wells that you died heroically, or something.
Hi, Wells. He sees me waving at her from over his shoulder. It's like, hey. I want to see this warden. Ram? Ram. I'm guessing that's the warden. You know what? I did just do a quick save, didn't I? Yes, I did. Alright. Why bother locking this thing? Oh, because this doesn't go there. This goes somewhere else. And somehow I can hack this. Designate Ram as a hostile intruder. You know what? I want to watch. Oh, he's lost half his health already. I'm gonna wait until I can get a good shot of his power cells on his back. Let's see. I've got this. Oop.
Didn't even get our hands dirty.
Nope. Haha! Hibernation chamber key. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba. Well, that was extremely useful. I'm glad I had enough, well, that's sealed. I'm glad I had enough stuff to get in there. Stuff as in, the computer hacking skill, whatever, you know. Quick save, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Alright, calm down.
Why won't you just...
Oh, hi everybody!
That's it. Time for a drink?
Well, yeah, the board reputation decreased. I killed her. Yeah. I thought that opened. Nope. There we go.
You don't know how glad I am to see.
I rescued
You
you.
did the right thing. Akande was a monster. Her death was much deserved and long overdue. And you lunatic, you broke into the board's own fortress just to rescue one doddering old man. You are absolutely out of your mind, and I can't begin to thank you enough.
You know, I wouldn't let anything happen to you, Phineas.
I know, my friend, I know. And now it's finally over. The board's finished. It's only a matter of time before the entire system slips from their grasp. You've broken the board's stranglehold on this colony, and you saved my life. But there's still so much we have yet to accomplish. You and I are going to have to work harder than ever to save Halcyon.
Okay.
I'm afraid the situation is far worse than any of us ever anticipated.
I don't like the sound of that.
Earth has gone dark.
Oh?
We haven't received a single message in 3 years. There's been no communication, no signals, nothing. 2 years ago, the Earth's Directorate's frigate disappeared on their way back to Earth. We don't know what they discovered when they arrived, or if they arrived at all.
Huh.
They haven't exactly been hands-on around here anyway. So there's one less rubber stamp to worry about.
Earth is humanity's home planet, Miss Fenhill. The psychological effects of losing our original home will be devastating.
So we've got to make do on our own. Seems to me that'll make us stronger in the end anyhow.
There was a thing where we had to
You're
send
quite right. We've got no choice but to
thing.
make do on our own.
To Earth,
We're
though.
in serious
A little bit
trouble,
early
my
we had to
friend.
do that.
Do you know what this means for Halcyon? We can't rely on Earth for support anymore. We've been cut loose. We're entirely on our own.
I want to ask you something.
Yes, certainly.
What do you think happened?
I don't know what happened, but something must have gone horribly wrong. I don't know why Earth's gone silent. I don't even know if Earth exists anymore. We have no connection back to Earth, and return is likely impossible. We're completely alone out here.
How do you know all this?
I heard it from Akande herself. She tried to pressure me into joining her side, you see. Tried to make me realize that all hope is lost, and that we are alone. She was half right. We are alone, and we're going to have to fend for ourselves, because there's no telling what's happened to Earth.
You mentioned a frigate disappearing.
You might have heard of the Earth Directorate's frigate.
I mean,
Half
only
the
from you,
colony's
really.
entire military was on that ship. They were returning to Earth when they vanished without a trace.
They went poof.
That was 2 years ago. We haven't heard a word from them since. Whatever happened to Earth likely happened to them.
So there haven't been any new messages from Earth.
Yes, Akande mentioned as much. Earth hasn't sent us a single message in 3 years.
I kind of thought
No
that
one knows
Rockwell
why.
was making it so
Akande
that
had
we
kept the truth to
couldn't.
herself, perhaps with good reason. Can you imagine what would have happened if word got out? We'd have utter pandemonium.
I thought I remember that Rockwell had like a line of communication to Earth, and that when we went on his phone and sent some sort of thing to Earth, like we lost the board's reputation a little bit there. But Relay Station near Scylla hasn't picked up any unencrypted messages in 3 years.
Yes, you were the one who reactivated that relay station, weren't you? Any message from Earth would have arrived unencrypted. It's been 3 years since our last message. The board tried using drones to contact Earth. Every one of those drones sent back the same encrypted message. Earth is completely silent.
Something else. I know about the other colonists, Phineas. Oh, are we talking about the ones he experimented on?
I wasn't trying to hide the truth from you, but after all you've done, I owe you an explanation. Yes, I experimented on the Hope's colonists. Each of my experiments ended in catastrophic failure. Each of my subjects died in agony. You are my first and only success. I didn't tell you about the others because I didn't want to burden you. My failures are my own to bear, not yours.
Well, without his help, though, I mean, I guess, yeah. Without his help, we wouldn't have come back, and he was at least trying.
Thank you. Perhaps in time I'll learn to forgive myself. My apologies. I need to get a hold of myself.
He seems much less
We've
crazy
far
and
more
more remorseful
pressing
anyway.
issues to worry about
At this
right now.
moment, anyway.
If you have any more questions...
No more questions!
Yes, we do. You've done a marvelous thing. You've succeeded where anyone else would have failed, including me. We must begin the revival process immediately, starting with the Hope's brightest minds, and then we're going to fix this damn colony, one problem at a time. We're going to need a leader, and I can't imagine a better person for the job than you. What do you say, old friend? Will you help us?
You can count on me. I'll help you revive the other colonists.
When I revived you, I thought you were going to help me save this colony. I was wrong. I had our roles reversed, you see. You're the one who's going to save us all. I'm just the one who set you on your path. You're the best thing to ever happen to
Was that like
Halcyon.
us deciding
If you want
our
to take it
final
upon yourself
ending
to
here?
lead this colony, you have my support. We're not a colony any longer, are we? Our last connection to Earth has been severed, and so we have been set free. Our future is uncertain, and no one knows what tomorrow holds. Exciting, isn't it?
Is that the end? I think. Lifetime employment program ruined. Besides.
The OSI teaches that everything in the universe happens according to the grand
that's
plan.
it.
But the stranger that arrived in Halcyon was an unplanned variable. From the moment he landed in Emerald Vale, his actions altered the course of history.
The voiceover doesn't really match the
brought
text.
about the end of the board's authority. But the board's mistakes would haunt the colony for decades to come. The damage they left behind would require the work of a generation to repair. Dr. Phineas Wells began reviving a handful of the Hope's colonists. Engineers, scientists, technicians, and intellectuals. They were among the brightest minds the Earth had ever sent out into the stars.
Didn't I
The
give
Hope scientists
him
and
another
engineers
lady who
woke
was
up in
good
a
with
colony
alien stuff? I
descending
don't know.
headlong into total collapse. With no way to return to Earth, they had no choice but to band together and devote themselves to the cause of saving Halcyon. The people of Halcyon were nothing if not hardy. In the absence of the board's authority, many of the colony's settlements banded together with a single purpose in mind: survival. Life was especially hard in the years to come. Some towns dissolved by attrition and starvation, but most of them found a way to carry on. In the years to come, Halcyon was forced to reckon with its newfound freedom. The board was gone, and for better or worse, the colony was responsible for its own destiny.
Yeah.
Between MSI's worker-centric policies and the iconoclast manpower,
Oh, here we are.
Sanjar and Zora were able to rally many of the Terra 2 townships to their cause. MSI's workforce swelled, and the iconoclasts enjoyed a significant surge in their ranks. The board was too distracted by infighting and internal politics to stop MSI from becoming a powerful corporation and a refuge for townships that might have fallen through the
Yay! I did good
cracks.
there.
Consumed by paranoia, Lilia Hagen took Sublight Salvage in a controversial direction, openly accusing board officials of an extraterrestrial conspiracy.
Oh.
One day, an accident at the Groundbreaker's docking bay silenced her forever. Time would tell if her replacement could keep the Sublight family
Oh yeah, she
together.
hated aliens.
Adelaide McDevitt replaced Reed Thompson as the leader of Edgewater.
Oh, that was right.
She and her followers transformed Edgewater in their image. Anyone loyal to Reed was pressured into leaving town, and those who stayed behind adapted to her way of life. Adelaide transformed the old cannery into a new garden. The nearby Edgewater Cemetery provided a convenient source of fertilizer.
Okay.
Under the leadership of Junlei Tennyson, the Groundbreaker held firm against corporate influence. The ship's mechanical stability gave Junlei the time to educate a promising generation of engineers schooled in her family's traditions. The future of the Groundbreaker looks promising.
Yay!
The rediscovery of the Hope and the abandonment of the lifetime employment program forced Byzantium to come to terms with some uncomfortable realities about the state of Halcyon. While Byzantines were reluctant to surrender the luxuries they'd grown accustomed to, the board's diminished authority gave them little choice in the matter. Nearly everyone had to learn to make do with less. Some even had to get jobs. It was a dark time indeed.
Well, it sucks to
Even
be
the
you.
Gorgon asteroid, though a distant enigma to most of Halcyon, felt the aftershocks of your actions. The destroyed Adrenatime synthesizer became a symbol of the board's cruelty, and a rallying point for Wells and his scientists as they sought to build a more humane, ethical Halcyon.
Yay.
They cleared the dead from Gorgon's laboratories and repurposed them to aid in the crucial work of solving the colony's nutrition crisis.
Yay.
Gorgon, which had once sown death and destruction across Halcyon, became a source of hope and renewal. The Gorgon Project's final explosive end was bittersweet for Olivia Ambrose. She wandered the colony's fringes alone, searching for others like her who despised the board and meant to destroy them.
Oh, so she joined them.
She found Phineas Wells and his cadre of scientists, and she joined them in their efforts to save Halcyon. For a while, she even knew an uneasy peace.
Yay!
But for all that, Olivia found purpose in Wells' project. She was always haunted by the memory of her daughter, Minnie, who hadn't lived to see the better world they were building.
I didn't have enough persuasion to have them both live, I think.
Her work had wrought on Halcyon. But she remembered fondly the daring captain who'd put an end to it at last. In spite of everything, the Gorgon asteroid remained a sobering reminder of the potential for progress and disaster in humanity's most ambitious efforts. The Rizzo's company in Halcyon dissolved after the collapse of the board. Needless to say, the launch of Spectrum Brown was indefinitely delayed. A stockpile of Spectrum Brown remains buried deep beneath the ruins of the old distillery, abandoned to time and attrition.
The parasites
With the
could always
dissolution of the
return.
board, Ruth Bellamy found herself without the two constants in her life: Byzantine culture and her sister Belinda. In the face of this new reality, she struggled to find a direction for her life. The colony had moved on from Halcyon Helen and would require new heroes in the years to come. And so Ruth Bellamy decided it was time to exit stage left. She quietly disappeared from public view. The dissolution of the board did not mean the dissolution of the ambitions of Cedric Kincannon, the charismatic leader of Sublight Underground. Cedric offered Slug's transportation services to the newly thawed colonists and set to work
he's a
ferrying
good one.
resources and food wherever they were most needed. For better or worse, Slug headgear became fashionable in the following year. As the board began to disintegrate, Spencer Woolrich found himself at a crossroads. Cling to what little stardom remained to him, or help usher Halcyon into its new future. To the surprise of many, perhaps himself most of all, Spencer chose the latter option. Having learned a variety of different skills in the many different roles played throughout his lengthy career, Spencer founded a radio serial dedicated to staying alive despite the odds.
Oh, that's
His
good.
subjects included how to survive violent encounters with only grazing wounds, dispense pithy one-liners for tense scenarios, and, of course, how to look good doing both.
Excellent.
After a brief attempt at dating Helen as one person rather than two, which both Bertie and Helen found too strange, Bertie struck out on his own to try his hand at raising woolly cows.
Oh,
Many of his former Rangers teammates soon followed.
didn't they have a woolly cow in
Accompanied by
their
the woolly
room?
cow the team had originally plied with alcohol. The dairy farm thrived under Bertie's leadership and care.
Oh, that's good.
The
Happy
Dairy
ending.
Rangers
Dairy
privately believed
Rangers.
that the woolly cows softened Bertie's temper considerably. Although the only one brave enough to say this to his face was promptly headbutted.
No.
Due to the board's dissolution, Many of the Prophet's old customers no longer found quite the same value in productivity seminars that they once had. With her business drying up, the Prophet chose to take her followers down a new path. Months later, salvagers on Eridanos found clues leading them to a seemingly abandoned bunker out in the wilderness. Inside, they discovered horribly mangled corpses.
What?
Sacrificed to a blood-scrawled portrait of a sprat-headed deity.
What?
The Prophet was not among the bodies.
What?
Your influence shifted Ellie's perspective.
Oh, okay, we're on the
She finally
companions now.
admitted, albeit grudgingly, that she just might need other people. Sometimes.
Yeah, this is sometimes.
With a steady income from the life insurance payouts, she was finally able to afford a ship of her own. She hired a small crew and flew supply missions to communities on the fringe. Some of them were even legal.
Wow!
Life in
Proud of
Halcyon
you.
was sobering for Felix Millstone. The grand revolution he dreamed of never came. There was no great awakening for the colony, no celebrations in the streets. There was only the hard, desperate work of trying to repair a broken colony. Felix never had a head for numbers, but if there was labor to be done, he was there to help. Eventually, Felix realized that the work of a revolution was done with two hands. As much as he enjoyed his adventures aboard the Unreliable, the vicar, known as Max, eventually decided that it was time to move on, to live out the life he had sought so long to create. He knew there were many in the colony who carried burdens much worse than the ones he had struggled with, and he devoted himself to easing their suffering wherever he could. He only ever took up arms again to defend the defenseless. Unshackled from a lifetime of striving and fighting the universe and himself, Vicar Maximilian de Soto was finally at peace.
Yay!
Once the matter with the Hope colonists was resolved, Junlei bashfully asked Parvati if she'd like to join her permanently on the Groundbreaker, and Parvati enthusiastically, if somewhat awkwardly, agreed. The stories of her adventures spread across the colony, and Parvati soon found herself the center of attention. Having served as the engineer of a renowned spacecraft, tramp freighters and wildcat miners sought her out by name, and in no time, she was a fixture in the Groundbreaker's mechanical ecosystem. She and Junlei were never far apart. Mioka returned to Monarch to take another crack at making a permanent life for herself. She formed the Charon Group, a mercenary outfit of ragtag survivalists and wilderness experts. Anyone in need of a guide, or just looking to throw back a beer and swap stories, could find her camping on the trail, or clearing an infestation.
Good for her.
The SAM unit that accompanied you spread awareness of the product line's superior sanitation and maintenance capabilities across what was left of the colony. This led to a boost in SAM unit sales. Did you know that SAM units are the longest-lasting, toughest-acting cleaning solution in Halcyon?
I'm sure.
Minister Clark was released from house arrest, and his contact with you gave him a sense of renewed purpose and vigor. Once it became clear that no help would be coming from Earth, he threw his considerable
Yeah, he was the one who wanted us
efforts
to
and
send a
talents
message
into
to Earth.
helping Halcyon manage the crisis before it.
Oh, good.
Chairman Rockwell served as the public face for the changes in Halcyon to come. Whenever you needed strings pulled or a voice to sell a policy change, Rockwell was only
He's our
too happy
puppet
to
now.
oblige. As for Dr. Phineas Wells, he spent his remaining years in his orbital lab. He eventually came to terms with his own past and was able to forgive the mistakes of his younger self by devoting his remaining years to serving the colony.
That's good.
In the end, Dr. Wells was able to save every scientist and engineer aboard the Hope. Over the next decade, nearly all of the Hope's remaining colonists were successfully revived. Halcyon saw a period of rapid technological and scientific advancement. Breakthroughs in dietary supplements saved the colony from starvation.
Yay!
Geoengineering projects and social reforms began to change the structure and character of the colony.
Yay!
Dr. Wells laid the groundwork for the project to save the colony, but he would never live to see the fruits of his labor.
Aww.
He passed away a few years later. His work was carried on by the scientists and engineers he revived. Today, Halcyon has stabilized. The people of the colony work hard to adapt to their new circumstances. Nearby colonies send aid and supplies. Life will never be easy in Halcyon, but for the first time in its history, there exists a sense of real, genuine hope about the future.
Hope.
And what about you? The unplanned variable in the history of Halcyon. Long after Wells passed away, you carried on his work with more energy, determination, and brilliance than he could ever muster. The years that followed were hard, but Halcyon survived by the efforts of the Hope's most promising colonists, the greatest of which was you. No one knows what's happened to Earth, and no one knows what the future has in store for Halcyon. All we know for certain is this: the name of the Unreliable and that of its intrepid captain will remain the subject of countless stories for years to come.
Woohoo! All's quiet in Halcyon. For now. Alright, so that's the end of the Outer Worlds. I know that Outer Worlds 2 was announced some time ago, so I do look forward to that. I wonder if we're going to actually hear, like, one loose thread that we have here. Every other thread that I can think of has been, like, dealt with, but one loose thread I can think of is what happened to Earth. And will there actually be, like, intelligent aliens? Because technically every single animal we've encountered that wasn't, you know, from Earth is an alien. Every single plant life thing we saw was an alien. But what I mean is, like, aliens that are going to try to kill humanity, like, who have more intelligence, who have military capabilities, that are maybe going to try to kill humanity, and we're going to have to fight them off. Maybe they'll come back and say, "We've destroyed Earth, we'll destroy you too." Something like that. I don't know. I mean, that's always possible. It's always possible that we'll find other aliens that are more peaceful, and maybe there's other aliens that are bad. Anyway, my prediction is aliens. That's my prediction. It's aliens. Next up is aliens. That's what I think.